How's it going, Rogues Gallery? Today, settle in for a bit of story time. I'm going to go over everything that happened at the first ever Grand Archive World Championship and share with you why I honestly truly believe it to be one of the single best trading card game tournaments and events that I've ever been to. And if you know me, I've been around for a while. I've been to a lot of trading card game tournaments and events. I've worked at a lot of them. I've done casting and coverage, everything from Flesh and Blood Callings to the Pro Tour to Shadowverse Evolve Worlds, now to Grand Archive NA Nationals and Grand Archive Worlds. And it is quite the remarkable thing. So today we're going to discuss that, do a little bit of story time, and share with you some footage of the event that I took while I was there doing casting and coverage. We're also going to share some of the stuff that we picked up, because that's kind of a big part of it, right? When you go to an event like this, especially an event treated the way it was, you will walk away with a lot of extra stuff. So that is definitely part of the event. So let's get started. For a quick recap, in case you don't know what Grand Archive is, if you're watching this video and you're not a regular viewer of the channel, first of all, hey, thank you for watching. Maybe maybe subscribe and like and all that kind of good stuff. But Grand Archive is a American-made anime-style trading card game that was initially funded through Kickstarter, raising close to $1 million. Since then, we have had several sets. We've had Dawn of Ashes, the Fractured Crown, the supplementary set, and now we have Alchemical Revolution and the newest set, the supplementary set, Mercurial Heart. So 4 sets in and a year under their belt, and Grand Archive is doing quite well, especially for being an indie trading card game coming out of Kickstarter. Currently, at the time of this recording, it is really hard to find boxes for Mercurial Heart, and that's because people love the game and they're just buying it up, right? They want the cards to play with, they want the cards to collect. It's really hitting on multiple levels, and you're going to see that in today's video as we discuss Grand Archive and as we discuss the World Championship, because a lot of that really is baked into what Grand Archive is. So now that you've had like kind of the ground floor of what Grand Archive is, let's talk about Worlds. So Worlds took place in Las Vegas, Nevada, specifically on the Strip, in the Flamingo, I'm just gonna call it the Flamingo Hotel, but it's like more than a hotel. There's like, you know, if you've been on the Strip, you know, there's like convention halls, there's restaurants and casinos and all that kind of stuff in this massive building just right on the Vegas Strip. The Flamingo Hotel it's okay, you know. My room was like pretty good, and of course I attended the event as essentially like staff or freelance or whatever you want to call it. I was one of the casters that did coverage for the Grand Archive World Championship. Paired next to the World Championship, there was Ascent Worlds, which is an open invite tournament. Worlds itself you had to qualify for. There was also an open invite tournament and a ton of other side events, and all of that's going to kind of go into what made this weekend so incredible. But let's get back to the venue, right? So let's talk about the actual convention hall itself, located in the Flamingo, and it is honestly one of the best ones that I've been to, for the hotel being kind of old and jank. The hotel really felt like it was from, you know, like the 70s, and really hasn't maybe gotten updated much since then. Maybe got updated in like the 80s or something like that. The actual like convention hall felt like this, you know, very glamorous ballroom with like you know, crystalline chandeliers all over the place. It was big, it was very spacious. And the Grand Archive team did an amazing job. The Grand Archive team and team TM32, who are like contracted to do, you know, work for Grand Archive. They ran coverage, for example, and I know they helped with a lot of other stuff too. They did an amazing job making the venue look incredible. Literally the best TCG venue I've seen, because you walk in and there's Grand Archive everywhere. There's standees. There's like this massive, what do you want to call it, art gallery where you can just like ponder the artwork. There was a station for some vendors selling cards, not just Grand Archive, but other card games, which I think is kind of cool. There was the merch booth where you can redeem like your tickets and all that kind of stuff to get exclusive merch. We're gonna showcase some of that because I got some cool stuff. There was the artist alley with multiple different artists. I want to give a shout out to specifically Dragon Art Triss and Dragon Art Taro Taro. I got this super cute button. Check that out from Taro Taro, who is a viewer of the channel. So if you're watching this, hey, shout out. They were very lovely, and once again, we have some stuff to show off a little bit later. Then we also had multiple events. We had, like I said, side events. There was the World Championship, there was the Ascent, and then there was also the world premiere event for the new set Mercurial Heart, and that, you know, basically was this recollection deck event. Everyone who participated got to choose either the Tristan recollection deck or the Sylvie recollection deck, and we played 3 rounds with these. You got to use the cards that you open up in the booster packs inside, and it was just so much fun. The atmosphere was incredible. I did like a kind of like a guerrilla video opening this up on the channel if you want to go look back and watch that. But dude, it sold out. This event completely sold out. I know there are people who really wanted to attend, but they couldn't just because they didn't have enough product, and everyone just had just an absolute blast. I do believe this product is literally one of the best starter deck products for any trading card game on the market. We're gonna have a whole separate video going into those, doing a proper review, but the long and short of it is, this is incredible, and it was so awesome and so smart to pair it with the World Championship, right? And they did it in such a way that everyone could participate, right? World Championship players, Ascent players, even staff could participate because they had the event after coverage was done. So all the World Championship players were free, all of the casters, everyone was free to play in the event. And so me and all of my, co-casters were able to play in the event. And it was just, it was just so much fun. I can't understate how, like, this was a really cool highlight to an already amazing weekend. Now, the word that I got from just talking to people like participating in the tournaments was that it went really, really well. Rounds went very smoothly. There wasn't a lot of delays. It just kind of went well. I know, at least from the coverage side, it also went very, very well. We basically covered almost every single game of the World Championship. So like, for example, the top 8, we literally did every single game of the top 8. And not only that, and this is something that I really want to emphasize just in this whole thing, and you can maybe have gotten a little bit of the sense of it already, but Weebs of the Shore, the creators and the company behind Grand Archive, they treat this game a little bit differently than other trading card games on the market, right? They are not just copying what Magic has done before, which is what almost every card game as up to this point has done, right? Even Flesh and Blood, they just kind of copy Magic's like tournament model, and that's because they use Magic tournament organizers like Star City Games and Channel Fireball. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is that Grand Archive is looking at it from a different perspective, and to me, from the coverage side, they really look at it from like an esports perspective, right? And they're incorporating a lot of like ideas from esports. So for example, for the World Champion participants, they all had like this intro where they had like this story, so viewers could like get to know who the players are, and so you can root for your like favorite player. And this is a very, very esports kind of thing to do. And then when the final person won, when Glenn ended up winning the World Championship, we had him like come out to the crowd right as he was announced, because we had the stream a little bit on delay, right? So when everyone saw him win on stream, which was actually streamed in this like viewing area with a ton of seats, this massive viewing area was always available for everyone during the entire event, right? The Glenn just kind of like burst out, and everyone was like, yeah, it was so good. There could have been like a little bit of better timing here or there with some of the stuff, because it was the first time that they did this, but it was super smart, super cool, and one of the ways that I think Grand Archive is just kind of like innovating. The other way is just like the general event really felt to me like an anime convention. It felt like a convention more than just a TCG tournament where you show up, you play some cards, and you're done. Like, there's so much stuff to do, so many things to interact with. I didn't even mention the trade night. That's probably one of the only, like, I'm not going to call it a negative, but one of the only things was the trade night, because as you can see in this footage, it was cramped. Like, they needed an official like space for the trade night, because it essentially took place just in the hallway. I didn't participate because I was very busy and, you know, very tired after a full day of casting. But yeah, that's kind of like the general vibe of kind of like what went down, right? Yeah, the event itself just went incredibly well. I do want to give a huge shout out to all of my casters and co-casters and the whole TM32 team. So, you know, big shout out to Main Deck Dan, to Cam, to Mark from Solar Games, to Once in Love, to Clem. We had a big casting team, and I think everyone did a fantastic job. I was kind of like the senior caster, the caster who's been, you know, done the most casting work, but I think everyone did a great job. I know Once in Love also done a lot of casting for like digital card games and that kind of stuff. And of course, I've done casting with Cam at NA Nats and one of the Canadian regionals a little while back for Grand Archive. So yeah, I mean, like, it's so wild to me that this is where Grand Archive is coming from Kickstarter, right? They're a game that came from Kickstarter, but I don't consider them a Kickstarter game anymore. They are just a trading card game. Like, they are doing it as a trading card game, and for my like input, I think they're the only trading card game right now who's actually doing it as a TCG. We could talk a little bit about Sorcery. They're doing something completely different. I don't consider them doing the TCG thing. Grand Archive is. You know, they have these amazing organized play events with a great proprietary software, the Omnidex. They have these massive events like the Ascent and like Worlds. They have beautiful cards. They have not had to go back to Kickstarter. They have a passionate fan base who loves the game just for the characters, but also for the gameplay and also for the collectability.
Just walk away. Yeah, dude. I just...
Cam.
Somebody get this man a punch.
Cam, we were literally just talking about, hey, they haven't pulled a CUR from these boxes
in
yet.
a case and a half. Yeah,
Holy shit.
Kel said I should save them for
That's like the
content.
best one. That's literally like the best CUR you could possibly pull.
Oh my god. I don't know what to say. I'm literally shaking.
You won.
Yeah, I won.
You won the weekend.
Oh my god.
That is.
Oh.
Look, this is disgusting. Look at this. Look at this. They put the Lorraine CUR on the uncut sheet. It is disgusing. So, yeah, someone have like
How
a
you feeling, Cam?
snap fit or something to put this in?
You play his face.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, for the collectability, I didn't even mention the Path of Silver. So, I mentioned the open invite event, right? The Ascent Worlds. Well, next to Ascent Worlds, well, I guess I should say, there's two paths for Ascent Worlds. There's the Path of Steel, where that's the one that you normally expect, the gameplay tournament. But there's also the Path of Silver, and that's the collector tournament. And yes, they do a collector tournament where you bring your collection, and then they give you like these prompts basically, and you try to get the most points based on the cards that you bring. And you essentially make like these sets of cards that are in those themes. But you also have like these other like greater themes, like some cards will have more like valor points or, you know, more beauty points or whatever they are. Each card has like a, you know, some stats that go to the card. What I'm trying to say is it's really cool, it's really intricate, and it's not just, you know, whoever wails the most wins. Yes, that is part of it, but you can focus on one thing and still get prizing and not have like the most expensive collection, which I think is really, really cool. And there's so many categories and so many ways to do this that I know some players who like don't have, they have maybe like one CSR or something, and they still were able to get some sort of prizing. And you get minimum prizing if you have at least some points too, even if you don't like place in like the top 8 or whatever. It's really cool. I actually think it's one of those many things that Grand Archive is doing that sets itself apart from every other card game in the industry. Like, they are actually like innovating and thinking about their game in a way that's not Magic the Gathering, which is super, super cool. It's super interesting, and it's like not what a lot of other games do. Even games that like don't play like Magic still treat it like Magic in terms of like organized play and what they do. So yeah, Grand Archive is like really, really doing it. The tournament itself, I mean, I did casting. I thought all of the Worlds rounds that I watched and I did casting for were incredible. The players are obviously the best in the world, and they were really, you know, really showcased it here. I don't really want to spoil it too much. All of the videos are over on the official Grand Archive YouTube channel. Lots and lots of streams. Go watch them. Like, even just go watch the top 8. If you don't have time to watch every single day, go watch the top 8. It is incredible, especially the finals. I did casting. So for the first day, so there's 3 days. For the first day, main deck Dan and I opened up the show. And then we also closed the show. So we did several rounds at the start, and then all the other casters did the rounds in between, and then Dan and I did the final round and closed off the show. In day 2, I occupied the middle ground, right? So instead of opening the show and closing the show on day 2, I did some middle matches with Cam. And then on the final day, which was the top 8, Dan and I closed out the show and we did the finals, which was a best of 5, which was not normal. Usually it's a best of 3, but for the finals for the World Championship, best of 5. Once again, I'm not going to spoil it. Go watch it, but it was incredible. Some of the best Grand Archive I've ever seen, and it was so hype. Oh, it's so good. It is so good. And one of my big takeaways here is like, I was already super into Grand Archive, right? I've been really entrenched into Grand Archive. I have an official collab card with Grand Archive in the first set. The Korhazi Courier is an official collab card using Katsumi, our official like main organized character, our main original character, right? We have currently 4 OCs, and Katsumi is kind of like our main character, our main mascot, and she is the Korhazi Courier, right? So I'm really entrenched into the game, but walking away from Worlds was wild. It was such an amazing event, and like I said, I can't stress this enough. They really meshed like the feelings of going to an anime convention with the fandom that you would get like at an anime convention. There was cosplay contests as well, by the way. Amazing cosplayers, you know, a wide spectrum. It was really cool. Like I said, tons and tons of stuff to do. But I meshed that anime convention feel with the trading card game, you know, tournament kind of feel, right? Some people are there just to do side events, right? You can do your draft or your sealed. I think it was mostly sealed for limited, and then you had like your constructed side events, and yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. It was just an incredible time. 3 days, everything went really well. The vibes are really good. At the final day, after everything is all said and done, we had a keynote address from many of the Grand Archive devs, and they addressed a bunch of new stuff coming up, lots and lots of beautiful, amazing looking promos, as well as a 1-year plan for Grand Archive. So on top of everything else, Grand Archive is not only succeeding, not only doing pretty well here in the West, you know, being an indie card game. It's not Pokemon, it's not One Piece, right? But it's an indie game with a dedicated, growing, passionate fan base. And they laid out a year plan, right? They said the next set's going to be called Mortal Ambition. It's going to be a Romance of the Three Kingdoms style set, which makes a lot of sense to me because the game is really starting to pick up traction in Asia and Southeast Asia. So I was like, oh, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing here. There's like a panda in the art, and like cool, just like, I don't know, like cool like vibes, like Dynasty Warriors style vibes. And yeah, the fact that they have a 1-year plan already laid out speaks to their thought process in terms of longevity for their game, right? They're here to stay. They're not here to cash in quick and then get out. They're here to be a like mainstay trading card game. And once again, out of Kickstarter, they're the only trading card game that I can confidently say that they're doing it as a trading card game, right? I don't consider them a Kickstarter game. They are just a trading card game, and one that I very much love. So I could not be happier with how Worlds went. I cannot wait to do more, you know, Grand Archive events, you know, do casting for more Grand Archive events, to participate in more Grand Archive events. They are just crushing it with like the starter product. I really do think this, I'm gonna grab it. The Recollection deck is literally the best starter product in its price range. It's about 50 USD. Oh, it's so good. Like, you have this really nice magnetic box with my girl Tristan here for the Tristan one. You can fit everything back inside. So basically what I did is I just kind of like, you know, sleeve my deck up and put it back inside from the event, and it fits all back inside. You have your 100 Dragon Shield sleeves, you have your deck, you have your 3 promo packs, you have like dividers, and you have every card that comes in this in a full playset. Even if they weren't a playset in the actual deck, you get the rest of the cards to make a full playset, so you can actually swap up the deck and make it however you want to make it. I think it's so smart because I'm really getting into the review territory for this video. It's so smart because it lets a new player make decisions and tweak the deck as they see fit and as they learn how to play the game. Mwah. It's so good. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And literally everything you need. You don't need to buy anything else. You don't need to buy sleeves. You don't need to buy a storage box. Boom. It's all here. It's so good. What? They're putting other games to shame. They're actually putting other games to shame for this price point. Like other games, price point $40, $50, you get like a deck and that's it. You know what? It's 2024. We should be asking more of our products. This is good. All right, so before we show off all of the loot that I got, I do just want to mention the community aspect, which I think is incredible. I did have a lot of people come up to me and just talk to me about, you know, how I helped them get into Grand Archive and all this kind of stuff. But just in general, the community for Grand Archive is incredible. It's one of those, like, you know, it's still a smaller game, still a smaller community, and it has that passionate small community vibes where you can recognize most people, right? The like, quote, big names in the community, you can definitely, you know, recognize them, and they're all like genuinely awesome folks. And like for example, right, that even some of the artists, like great friend of mine Hanchu, as well as the artist Ghoul, ended up showing up at the event kind of like unofficially, right? They didn't have their own artist booth. They were just there because they're fans of the game, and that's going to kind of lead into some of the stuff I'm going to show off with that I got at the event. But yeah, I just had an amazing time hanging out with Hanchu and Nathan and Ghoul. I just want to give a huge shout out to all of them out there. Yeah, it's always awesome meeting them and hanging out with them at these kind of events. And to me, at the end of the day, that's really what it boils down to. The card game is fun. The event went really well, but the community aspect is just so good. And being able to spend time with friends, like-minded individuals, and just have an amazing time is really what it's at. And I didn't see a single person be negative about anything the whole weekend, except for maybe the trade night being too cramped. But other than that, it was incredible. So I can't wait for another year of Grand Archive. I can't wait to see what they do at Worlds next year. I was talking to a lot of the devs over the weekend, and I was talking to one in particular, and I was telling him how awesome I thought the event was. I was just like, hey, you did an amazing job. I've been to a lot of card game events in my life, and this is one of the best ones that I've been to. And he was like, yeah, this is really good. I really want all of the ascents to be this level, and then Worlds next year to be even better. And I'm like, that is the right mindset. That is the mindset of like greatness. And so, yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna leave that bit on. Let's show off some cool stuff, right? All right, so this is the super VIP tier collector rare for the Frostbind. As you can see, I did have super VIP, but I also had, like, you know, media pass and all that kind of stuff. Really, really pretty. But we also got a bunch of other cards as well. This is one of the side event entries, and look, it's on like an actual Grand Archive card. Obviously, I wasn't able to play in any side events, so I just actually kept the two that came in my VIP package as like a nice souvenir. And then we also have, so here's like the Chilling Touch promo. We got 4 of those for the foil. Here is the non-foil Chilling Touch promo. So 4 of the non-foil Chilling Touch promo. Here is the foil Frostbind promo. And then we also have the non-foil Frostbind promo by one of my other favorite artists, Faicha. And then I got, so this artist, I don't know how to pronounce their name because it's in Japanese characters, but I got them to sign my full set of promo Clumsy Apprentices. So very, very cool. Yeah, cool stuff. I did have some time to actually, you know, partake in some of the festivities. This here is the Ascent Worlds exclusive deck box. It is one of like the single deck boxes, but look at this. Oh, look how good this is. Dude, look at this. And then there's like the inside of the deck box. You can put like a sideboard, sleeves, dice in there. And it's one of those magnetic deck boxes. The magnet on these, I would say, is like You know, well, rather I should say the magnet on the Recollection deck boxes are like almost as good as these, even though it's a different material, right? That one's more of like this really, really nice quality, like cardboard, where this one's like this, you know, faux leather kind of thing. Still pretty comparable in my opinion. Still really nice. Here's the big gemstone spin down that came with the VIP package. It's very nice. It's basically the same one that was at the Ascent Houston that I went to, but I noticed the packaging here is a little bit better. The inlay is lower, so it's easier to get the dice out, which I appreciate. Here is the Ascent Worlds Dragon Shield sleeves of the Frostbind art. I haven't opened them yet, but I'll probably use them at some point. And everyone also got your Proxia's Vault official, like actual cards, which is really, really cool. I know you can get these for free, but they were just kind of like tossed in with my VIP package, which is cool. Also in the VIP package was this water bottle. I didn't realize this would be a thing, but yeah, look at this cute Arasana water bottle. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, it's pretty nice. I didn't even know that this was a thing going into it, but I got it. I was like, hey, that's cool. Look at this cool Ari water bottle. Yeah. I also got this really, really cute ceramic coaster from Taro Taro. I bought a couple stuff from her. That's how I ended up getting the pin. I bought like an art print. We'll show off those. I have them framed up already, as well as this. And I got the pin too. So yeah, really cute. It's Diana eating an apple. Hell yeah. Here's one of the really cool like side things you can do at the event. Sylvie's, what is it called? Stamp Rally? Yeah, Sylvie's Stamp Rally. And you can go around and collect stamps. And that's how you got the Chilling Touch promos, actually. All the casters got the Chilling Touch promos anyway, just because we didn't have time to go around and get the stamps. So they're like, yeah, it's not fair if you know, aren't able to actually do that. So they just gave us the promos. So yeah, still really cool. So this is a nice little keepsake. I also got 2 playmats from the merch store. So I got this Diana playmat. This is the Diana 3, the one that, you know, is actually used and played. And then I also got an Arasana level 3 playmat, you know, the one that's actually used and played. I kind of regret not getting like the lower versions of these 2, but you know, it is what it is. I really want to get Tristan stuff though, so hopefully next time things roll around, they'll have like Tristan playmats and I can get those. Weebs, give me a Tristan playmat. But honestly, even cooler than that is this playmat. So this was given to me by Honshu. As far as I know, these were not available for sale. Definitely not at the event, but Han just kind of gifted this to me as a friend, and she told me this was her last one. So this is the World's art that she drew, and it is so beautiful. I don't know if I can get it all on screen here, but it's so beautiful. She did sign it as well. You can see that signature. It's kind of curled a little bit, but yeah. This was so cool. This was one of my favorite things that I got, and that just kind of goes back to like the community interaction. She wasn't there to like sell stuff, but she still brought this and gave this to me as a gift. So, you know, huge shout out to Honshu. She's awesome. Go buy her stuff. She's incredible. She also gave me some like little charms of like Grand Archive characters. So we have like this Uther charm, which is awesome. She has this super cute Arasana charm, and the backside is also is so cute. And then we have, I think this is Gildas, right? Oh, she's so cute. Yeah, so I got these little charms from Han as well. I think she might sell these at like events and stuff, so if you want one of these, also check out her store. I don't know if her merch store has these available either. All that stuff was actually in these beautiful Tristan bags. I ended up with 2 of them because one of them was my VIP bag, and then I got another one from the merch store when I bought stuff myself for the merch store. So I have 2 of these Tristan bags. Tristan's my favorite character in Grand Archive. I just love her. Tristan, assassin waifu, all the time. I will notice one thing I will mention one thing that I noticed. The art on this is a little bit censored. Like it's got a little bit covering her chest a little bit more than the actual art, which I think is interesting. It's more censored just on this bag. But not on the actual cards. I wonder if it was like a late change or something like that they made the bags first and then they changed the art or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just trying to make them more, you know, presentable when you're walking around, you know, out in public. You don't have like the big boobas, but I mean like, yeah. And then finally, let's show off some of the actual like art that we picked up. So this one is the wall scroll from Taro Taro. So this is Merlin and Arasana wall scroll. She did sign it. Where's the signature? It should be close to, yeah, there we go. There's the signature. And it's Merlin and Arasana. This is definitely going up in the studio. It's going to be up over there with 2 other things. We also got this piece of art. So this is a print by Dragon Art Triss, signed by her as well. And this one I do want to give a special shout out. I don't remember your name, forgive me, I'm horrible with names. But a viewer, one of the Rogues Gallery members out there, like, bought this for me. Like, I was standing, debating, you know, what to get from Taro Taro, and he was like, gold or silver? And I was like, oh, gold, I guess. And then they signed it in gold. And so shout out to you if you're watching this video. Thank you. I'm framing this up and it's going up in the studio. So yeah, very, very cool. Also, it's super cute. Look at that. It's Ari and Diana. Very cool. And then we got one more thing, and this is something that I bought from the official merch store where I got like the play mats. And that is a foil Mercurial Heart poster. Look at this. Look how cool this is. A foil poster. I like to keep the studio pretty classy, even though we have some spicy things. I do like to keep it classy here, so we have, you know, I framed it. That's what you do. You frame the things, make them look really nice. And so yeah, all of these are going to go up in the studio. I just really wanted to have more Grand Archive and also Shadowverse stuff up in the studio. We have some Flesh and Blood stuff and a lot of other random stuff, but I want more representation for the games that I really love and that I'm covering. So yeah. And I hope all of that kind of stuff, well, I mean, it's cool to show you, but I hope it just goes into the whole experience, right? Like the passion from everyone from the artists to community members to content creators and casters and people who work on the game. Just everyone is just so passionate and they love the game and everything surrounding it so much. And I hope that's kind of like the vibe that you got from this video, because, you know, they ran Worlds perfectly. It went very, very well. Well, the keynote address at the end, it was really hard to hear, but it was more like an audio issue. I don't blame the devs for that at all. Just one of those things that happens. Same with some like internet problems that happened. It just happens, right? At every card gaming event I've ever been to, there's always been internet problems doing coverage at some point. It just happens. But the whole point is that the event was amazing, and it was literally one of the best TCG events, if not the single best TCG event that I've ever been to. And it's because they treated it like an anime convention, right? It was more than just a card gaming event. You got more out of it. You literally just saw everything that I showed off. And I did casting and coverage. I was working the weekend. Other people probably walked away with more stuff. It was just an incredible time, and I couldn't be happier with where Grand Archive is and where it's going. I think the game is just going to be consistently growing. I see more and more people like wanting to play the game. The devs are all awesome. I've had both Silidar and Aldius here on the channel before. I would love to get Sitsakris on here at some point. He's technically been in a video before because I met him in Japan, but I'd like to get him on here for like a discussion, because does a lot of like the less fun businessy side of stuff, but he's one of the reasons why things are running the way they are and working so well. So, yeah, the future is radiant for Grand Archive. The game is awesome, and yeah, that's basically all I have to say. I can't wait for the next Ascent. I can't wait for the next Worlds. I will definitely probably be there, and stay tuned for a lot more Grand Archive content here on the channel. I always do Grand Archive content here or there, but I really, really want to do more. And I really want to do what I can to promote this game and help it grow, because it's so good and it deserves it. And I just really love it. So thanks to you for watching. If you were there, comment down below. Comment anything. Subscribe. Thank you. And stay tuned for some more card game content here on Red Zone Rogue. That's a story time. We'll see you next time. Bye.